Man, watching this movie, I was thinking to myself, and also from the first Sicario movie, like I can imagine some fan of like Zootopia in this movie making a version of Sicario where Officer Judy Hopps is like Emily Blunt's character and Nick Wilde is Benicio del Toro's character in a way. It wouldn't be hard to imagine. It would be kind of like the adult version of Zootopia.
It's called Zucario. Yeah.
I love it. Sounds better than Zoolander.
Yeah.
So, hi, welcome to End Credit Reviews on episode of After the Credits on End Credit Reviews. This is Tyler from End Credit Reviews.
And Luke in the passenger seat, not the back seat.
Yep, we haven't done a video like this since Ready Player One. So this is our review on Sicario,
Day of the Soldado? I'm assuming that's how it's pronounced. I think it means Day of the Soldier, I think.
Yeah, it's Spanish for soldier. And Sicario apparently in Spanish means hitman.
Yeah.
But also, according to the first Sicario movie, also meant that it originated from, I guess, the Israelites. They had these soldiers or individuals that would hunt after Romans who would persecute them. That's where it kind of comes from, which is interesting in a way. Now you know, kind of stuff. Yeah. So we both rewatched the first Sicario movie. I haven't watched it in a while. And the first Sicario movie I thought was really good. And also, I mean, I think it was a lot better when I first watched it. I mean, I think it's still good, but not really that great as I thought of it at first. Now, the first Sicario movie is directed by
Denis Villeneuve or something like that. The guy who did Blade Runner 2049 and Arrival.
Yeah, I think it's like a French-Canadian director.
Yeah.
This guy also directed Prisoners, which I think is his best movie. It's a really great movie. And also he directed Enemy, that also starred Jake Gyllenhaal. I think that's probably his weakest movie that I've seen from him. But yeah, Blade Runner 2049 was pretty underrated. And I think in an interview he said that he can't afford to make another kind of expensive art house film like that. But I'm like, come on, man.
He's doing Dune, which is kind of an art housey type film.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, between this and Arrival, where it's like people are like, oh, this is some good science fiction, but no one really went to go see it because now, sadly, I think in recent years it's kind of shown that people are like, oh, I don't like it because it's not fun and it made me think. Oh, I'm going to see that new Despicable Me movie. Oh, it's so funny. Yeah, too many people nowadays. It just kind of shows that audiences are kind of seem to be dumbing down a bit in a way. But yeah, the first Sicario movie was pretty solid, but what did you think of it?
Yeah, I mean, I watched it for the first time today. I thought it was pretty good. I mean, I'm fresh off of it. The opening is amazing, I think, where like they raid the house and they shoot the wall and there's like all the bodies in there.
Oh yeah,
the explosion This movie started similarly with an explosion or more than one explosion.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of, I remember rewatching that movie and Emily Blunt's like friend in that movie. He was in Get Out.
Yeah, Daniel Kaluuya. He's also in Black Panther and
yeah. I mean, it was like, wait, that's the guy from Get Out. That's just kind of funny. Yeah, like, I didn't remember him in this movie, but after watching Get Out and Black Panther, I'm like, okay, I remember him now, because he's done bigger stuff now than that. But yeah, so Sicario Day of the Soldado, maybe that's pronounced it, is a sequel to the first Sicario movie. Now, of course, the director of the first movie didn't direct this one. This was directed by, who was it again?
Stefano Sollima. I never even heard of this guy.
Stefano Sollima is an Italian director. I just watched a movie that he directed from several years ago called Sicario. It's on Netflix to watch it. It's an Italian crime drama, and I feel like it was pretty decent, so I feel like, okay, this guy seems like a good choice to be a replacement director. And apparently, from what I've heard, it's rumored that one of his next movies might be a movie adaptation of the Call of Duty video games.
Right there, Call of Duty.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of, there's a part in the movie where they have this whole, like, shootout. Yeah, shootout thing, and one of the guys is wearing a mask from the Call of Duty Ghosts game, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
So it kind of shows, like, I want to make a Call of Duty video game movie.
So put Ghost in it. That'll get you the job.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see one for the Modern Warfare trilogy if it was done right. I think would be awesome if they chose that one. Yeah, just don't do the one where it's like, oh yeah, it's Black Ops 3 where it really has nothing to do with the other games.
That's terrible.
I mean, yeah, you could maybe do Advanced Warfare, but then again, it'd be awkward to see Kevin Spacey in it.
Recast.
Yeah, it's like, especially when you know what's been happening, like it make it even more awkward. Um, so yeah, in this movie, so basically a bunch of various terrorist attacks have happened in America, and now of course there's other problems going on with border relations. So thus, Josh Brolin's character, who was his name again in the movie?
Matt Graver.
Yeah, so Matt Graver, of course, is trying to get his team back again, and of course Benicio del Toro's character, what was his name again?
Alejandro. They don't really have a last name.
Yeah, the title character of the movie, pretty much. And basically, he's back, and he's there to pretty much stir up the hornet's nest once again. And this time, they decided to kidnap this one girl, who I guess is the daughter of this powerful cartel leader, and her name is
Isabel Reyes.
Okay.
Well, she's the daughter of the guy who killed Alejandro's family.
Oh yeah, okay. Sorry about that. But was she in the recent Transformers movie?
Yeah, I recognized her. I'm like, wasn't she from Transformers? Yeah, she was.
Yeah, Transformers the
She
Last
also
Night.
played a character named Isabel. Her real name is Isabel.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's kind of like how in some movies a character is their name is exactly what their name is in real life.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of strange. But anyway, so basically other things happen throughout the movie, various plot twists, and eventually Alejandro's character and Isabel or Isabella, one of those two, they then are together and they have to kind of look out for one another. So, what did you think of Sicario Day of the Cilantro, Luke?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty solid, but I do think it's a step down from the first one, probably mostly due to the director change. Same writer, Taylor Sheridan. He's in a lot recently.
Oh yeah, he also wrote not just the first one, but he also wrote Hell or High Water. Yeah, that was nominated for Best Picture,
Yeah,
which is interesting. So I'm like, okay, at least they got the same writer back, which is a really good deal, and they also got most of the cast back pretty much. I know Emily Blunt her character was absent from the movie, and I think the reason why was that they said there was really no need to have her character in this movie, which makes sense. You don't really want to shoehorn a character when they don't necessarily need to be there in a way. However, I did hear one of the producers of the first Sicario movie, well, of these movies, did say that if they make a third one, they would like to have Emily Blunt's character come back, which would be interesting to see that happen. But also, Trump was going to say, but yeah, the movie is action-packed. It definitely does have that slow, gradual seriousness like the first Sicario movie. I felt like, I mean, yeah, I could tell the director was different, but he did a good job of trying to replicate the first one in some of the directing, and they got the color tone right. From what I remember, that kind of greenish yellow kind of tint in a way.
It's not Roger Deakins for cinematography, but it's Darius Wolski, who's another like really well-known cinematographer. So he kind of just aped his style.
Okay, yeah, that's fine if you do very similar job and quality and try to mimic a certain one. But yeah, I mean, what I like about this and the first one is that they're both very gritty and realistic when it comes to the various violence in the movie of certain scenes where they depict it, and also how a lot of tricky things can result from all different things when it comes to both sides of the border in a way of all the other iffy things that go about it, especially how media will kind of interpretate certain events.
Yeah, they name dropped Fox News in it when they talked about spinning it.
Yeah, the no spin zone stops right here. Oh wait, that guy's no longer there anymore, but it's kind of a period piece in a way. But
they also name dropped ISIS, which I thought was weird. It was
the
only mention of it.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, they were saying like, well, this one guy in the beginning of the film was like, pretty much saying, I'm just a small fish, I want the bigger fish. Which, by the way, looking back at them, like, they didn't really explain exactly who those bombers were. I mean, they said that they were from, but they kind of maybe forgot to kind of connect it to the rest of the story in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they did explain it briefly, but I don't know. I didn't go up to go to the bathroom whatsoever. But yeah, we did have some like flatulent seats near us, where basically we have these reclining chairs in our theater.
They're so loud.
Yeah, when you have that, flatulent chair, which we call it, basically it goes, let everyone know you're adjusting your seat. Which, I mean, not as bad as the old seats they had, where it would creak.
Yeah.
Just when you, like, casually reposition yourself in that. Yeah, what did you think of Isabel in this movie?
I thought she did a fine performance. I mean, kid actors are hit or miss, but I thought. I mean, I still haven't seen the last Transformers, so I don't know how she compared to that movie. But
Yeah,
I
she
thought
was
she did
better in
pretty,
this one.
pretty good job.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of surprised you haven't seen the new one. And I felt like it wasn't half bad. But anyway, back to this movie and that. When Josh Brolin's character shows up in that, trying to interrogate this one guy, I was like, Thanos was wondering where that Infinity Stone's at.
Yeah, it felt exactly like the scene in Infinity War when he goes to interrogate the Collector because it's the same both of the same actors.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is just like that scene.
Yeah, this year is Josh Brolin's
This
year.
summer, it's 3 Josh Brolin movies.
Yeah,
Summer.
we have. Well, I won't really count April as summer.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, I mean this year pretty much we've got Avengers: Infinity War. He's Thanos. He's Cable in Deadpool 2, and now most recently he's back in the new Sicario movie.
Yeah.
In that, so it's kind of interesting in a way. What's weird is that in the beginning of the film he has like a beard on, but then he gets rid of the beard.
Yeah.
Soon after to like, wait, what? You know? I mean, when I saw him with that beard on, I thought he looked like Jeff Bridges a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. And maybe what kind of I saw that resemblance was there was a trailer that played before this movie where he's in it.
What was it? The Bad Times at El Royale.
Some movie about like some period piece in a hotel and that. But yeah, the I mean, what was I gonna say about it, but yeah, the part where they're shooting up like this one area to corner them, I'm thinking to myself, man, remember that scene from Baby Driver where it's like they put on the mask like, this is Michael Myers. Where they put the Austin Powers mask on instead.
Another Kevin Spacey joint. Edgar Wright said he wants to make a sequel, but I don't know how they're gonna deal with that. Kevin Spacey.
Well, I thought he died.
Oh yeah, he does, doesn't he? Right?
It's kind of a spoiler, but
Oops.
yeah. I mean, I'm just wondering how they're gonna do it. But yeah. Or they just recast him if they want to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, speaking of, the guy who was in Baby Driver, he was like briefly in the movie. I think he's like the Punisher now. He was in the first Sicario movie, wasn't he?
I didn't see him when I watched. Oh, you mean John Bernthal? Yeah.
Yeah, he was the guy who was
In the bar.
Yeah, that guy. Which I thought like, oh yeah, I recognize him. Yeah, the Punisher is in this. Yeah, that's kind of funny when you see actors before they were famous and you rewatch them, you're like, oh yeah, I recognized him, even though you don't years ago.
Yeah, and Emily Blunt was almost Captain Marvel, so we would have had a lot of Marvel actors.
Oh yeah, but I think she almost was Black Widow as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, I think originally she was first considered to play Black Widow before Scarlett Johansson, but I think for some reason her contract at Fox said, you gotta be in another movie, so you can't be in Iron Man 2, but you gotta be in Gulliver's Travels with Jack Black. Which I think Spill.com said, like, this movie is not only the worst movie of the year, but it might be the worst movie of the decade. Yeah, at least, I mean, that director went on to direct Goosebumps, which wasn't half bad.
With Jack Black as well?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen whatever you pronounce it, that bad Jack Black movie. I'm just going to call it with the little abusions in that.
That was a remake, wasn't it? I thought it was a remake of an old movie.
Well, I think it was based off a book.
Yeah.
But we digress, folks. Back to the movie itself and that. And the part where they're, like, executing people, we can see, like, Bed Bath & Beyond in the background. Like, this is kind of the weirdest promotional thing for a movie. Oh, yeah, when you're gonna hit somebody, it's nice to head over to Bed Bath & Beyond.
Yeah, and they showed JCPenney, and then they showed Subway, and the first thing I think of when I see Subway is GRA.
Yeah. A big reason why I decided to boycott that place years ago. And they knew about it, and they tried to cover it up years ago before the story broke.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But also it's the part where a bunch of guys get, like, killed on a Ford truck, and I'm like, hey, literally found on road dead. Yeah, should we talk about spoilers?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a huge movie, really. I feel like we can talk spoilers.
Alright, so we're going to talk about spoilers right now. Fast forward to this part if you want to be spoiled. But anyway, I felt like it was a shocker to kind of see, like, Benicio del Toro's character, like, shot. Like, oh, is he dead?
Yeah.
And then it's later like, oh, he just shot in the mouth. I instantly thought that George Carlin skit about the suicide joke of his, like, Man, maybe I'll shoot myself. What'd I miss? Maybe I'll wear a stupid hat the rest of my life.
Yeah, I thought he legitimately died, but then the kid, I'm assuming he missed on purpose, right? He like went not through his brain and like the side of his head and then out his mouth. I kind of was hoping for a Two-Face thing, like his face was like maybe a skull, because like all the artwork for this movie has like a bunch of skeletons.
Yeah, I mean,
Like that would have been cool.
yeah, especially like the poster with like it looks like the American flag and the Mexican flag with the like a skeleton. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that's really cool. I like that poster. But yeah, and also when the helicopters are coming in, I'm like, play Ride of the Valkyrie.
Dun, dun,
Dun,
dun,
dun, dun, dun, dun, dun,
Yeah, that would be
dun. Yeah, but I'm glad they got. I mean, I got a little bit of chills a bit when they started playing the Sicario theme from the first movie during that
Mm-hmm.
scene, which I'm like, oh, that's great that they did that. I mean, the guy did the soundtrack for the first movie. I think he died earlier this year.
You did?
Yeah, I was like surprised, like what? The guy did the soundtrack for the first Sicario movie died like early this year.
Oh, I think you're right.
I'm like,
I remember
oh
hearing about
man, Johansson maybe is
Yeah,
his name.
yeah, Johan Johansson, something like that.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm like, what? He died in that? But yeah, also this other woman who's in the movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, then there's a part where when at the end of the film he confronts that kid like 1 year later. He's got all these like douchey tattoos on him, and it's like,
Yeah.
so you want to be a Sicario, eh? And it's like, oh okay. It left on a cliffhanger. Interesting. To see
It
where
was
this
pure
goes.
sequel bait.
Yeah, which I was like, iffy about in ways. I'm trying to think what else to say about this movie. So what did you think of this movie, Luke?
I mean, I enjoyed it. Enjoyed watching it, but I don't. I mean, I don't know if it's on par with the first one, like I said, but probably the only time I'm gonna watch it. I mean, if I love a movie, I'll see it more than once, but I don't know if I'm gonna see this again. It was seemingly like I think it was less violent than the first one. Was it? I mean,
I don't know. I think this one was just about as violent with the first one, but I don't know. I mean, this was kind of equal in ways.
it starts with an explosion, so
Mhm.
it kind of hits the ground running.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, the first one did have an explosion as well. But yeah, I mean, this one did capture the grittiness of it. All right, so continue.
Yeah. The director, I thought, it did a good job of like imitating, doing a good continuation of this story. I'd see a third one. I mean, I'm assuming they're gonna make a third one, and that'd be cool to see Emily Blunt come. What if Emily Blunt comes back as a villain? That'd be cool, right? It'd be a twist.
Well, possibly, or an anti-hero.
Yeah.
I mean, they did hint that they would like to bring her back for a third one if the third one happens. Yeah, I would like to see a trilogy of this to just kind of wrap it up. I don't want them to go like the Nightmare on Elm Street or Friday the 13th route, just keeping making more and more sequels, just pumping them out, and it just gets... Well, it still have more integrity than the Purge movies.
Yeah.
Don't get me
I'm so
started.
sick of those.
Don't get me started.
You know, there's a
on
Purge
those.
TV show happening on
No.
USA, starting soon. I'm like, oh my god.
I mean, basically, Your Next was better.
Yeah.
Yeah, that no one really went to go see. And
Yeah.
but so sorry, I feel like I'm interrupting.
Yeah, but I thought the movie kind of like slowed down a little bit in like the midway point, like when the part when he like pretends to be her dad, or like whatever she says that he's paying her to pretend to be your dad. I thought the movie kind of dragged there, but then it kind of picks up again after that when the whole chase with the helicopter starts. So it kind of, there's some lulls here and there, but I mean every movie has that. But yeah, overall I thought it was pretty good, pretty solid.
What would your rating be? For
I think I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10.
Okay. Personally, I feel like the movie started off really strong in the first half. In the second half, it kind of got a tad bit iffy, like it kind of slowed down a bit too much.
Mhm.
And I felt like the climax of the film could have been a tad bit better in a way. But then again, they're going for a certain kind of structure with this one. And also, there's not really necessarily a big main villain in this movie. I mean, maybe the guy who killed Benicio del Toro's character's family, but we never see him in the movie. So maybe we'll see him in the third movie, possibly. Maybe they'll finally get to showing him as like this big bad villain, which would be kind of interesting.
I thought it was the guy in the first one. You remember
Oh yeah,
at the end of
yeah.
the first one when he goes to that guy's family and he shoots all
Yeah.
three of them and then he's like, finish your meal, and then he kills them. I thought that was him, but maybe he's just someone who worked for him.
Yeah, maybe he's the one who killed the family personally, and maybe the other guy was the hitman, or wait, no, maybe he was the boss who ordered the hit, or maybe he was the one who ordered the hit, and the other guy who's the killer is still out there. I'm not so sure. In fact, it kind of confused me in the beginning of the film when we see that one guy who's like a delinquent, doesn't have a father. I'm thinking to myself, was this the kid from the first one who his father was like a dirty cop working for the cartel, and he got killed? So I was just wondering if that was the case, but then again, he actually was in Mexico when that happened, and this one he's in America, so I'm not so sure if they were trying to connect to that one or not, because that would have been pretty good, really good writing if they did that. But again, I'm not so sure. This is kind of just speculation at the moment. So with this one, I'm kind of torn about it in a way. Like, I do think it's better in ways. It's better than Pacific Rim Uprising. It's better than 12 Strong. I mean, I felt like it was kind of disappointing in certain ways, but also it did satisfy me in also other ways as well. So for Sicario de the Salandra, I give this movie about 2.5 to 3 stars out of 4. But last thing I wanted to say is that something funny, like when it comes to like bad like movie going experience stuff. The woman sitting next to me was like this middle-aged woman, and every other time something bad happened or violent happened, she went
Gasping.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, this isn't PBS here. Okay, you know you're going into an R-rated movie. I mean, it kind of reminded me of that movie Lawless, where we saw this like shot of this like naked woman, and this one woman, and then I think when I went to go see the first Iron Man movie, there's this one older lady behind me when the Humvee like got attacked in the beginning of that film, and later when Jebediah paralyzed Tony Stark, she was like, "Oh God." And I think she topped this, because not only did she kind of gasp a lot more, but the part where this one character gets like shot in the head, she had the sweater on for keep her warm, I guess, because it was kind of cold in there. She covered her face just before the shot happened. I just like looked over like
Wow.
I was laughing really hard inside. I'm like, I gotta tell people about this. I'm like, you can't be serious. Yeah, you would think this would be in like a TV show or something, like a Seinfeld side story.
At least you didn't have to deal with the person I had when I went and saw Solo. To my right, there was a lady on an oxygen machine. The whole movie, she was on an oxygen machine. And I'm like, are you serious? Why are you doing that?
The worst cosplay of Darth Vader ever. Yeah. I gotta tell people about the covering up face. I mean, it wasn't as bad as some of the crying kids in Incredibles 2.
Oh, yeah. There was a kid that was like freaked out by the screenslaver in my theater. He was like, this movie's scary. Like, come on.
Come on, it's not that scary.
Also, that kid wasn't born when the first one came out, so
yeah,
he shouldn't even be there.
Yeah, no. And it's like, okay, guys, if you can afford a movie ticket, you can afford a babysitter, okay? So I remember seeing this funny meme where it's like, oh, what is this? Joe's crying kid. Is this something to bring to a movie?
I just saw that, yeah.
Like, yeah, like the worst people to be in movie theaters are crying kids.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much, or babies. It's like, come on. Like, I think I saw a woman bring her baby to go see Watchmen.
What?
Like, you know, in the carriage thing.
They're not going to remember it.
Yeah, but still, it's like, come on. You tell me you couldn't afford a babysitter? And that, like, you're just gonna be a big hassle for everyone else in the movie theater if they start crying.
I'm sure that baby was traumatized by all the blue wang.
Yeah, and all the blood and swearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is Tyler from Anchor Reviews.
And Luke from the passenger seat.
Yeah, we hope to make a lot more on after the credits on Anchor Reviews, and we hope to make a lot more in the future. Please like and subscribe.